Good morning, class. Let's continue with the chapter Lines and Angles. Today, we learn about transversal lines. So, let's begin the journey of learning.
Yes, this is an image of a railway track. Have you noticed the position of rails? These rails are placed opposite to each other. If you keep moving ahead on the same track, then do the rails meet anywhere? No, they do not meet anywhere. Then what can you say about the pair of rails? As these rails do not meet at anywhere on the track, it shows that the rails are parallel to each other. If we go further on the same track, we see that the track meets another track. Let's take these rails as lines, say L, M, P, and Q. As these lines do not meet anywhere on extending in both the directions infinitely, we can say that these two lines are parallel to each other. We see that the lines P and Q are also parallel to each other. Are these lines P and L also parallel to each other? No, these are not parallel to each other. Then what can you say about these lines P and L? As we know that parallel lines do not meet anywhere, but the lines P and L both meet at point, say A. Thus, it shows that these lines P and L are not parallel to each other. As we can see that the lines P and L cuts each other at a point A, so these lines are called intersecting lines. Now what can you say about the lines Q and L? They are intersecting each other at a point, say B. Similarly, we can say that the line P intersects the line M at a point, say C, and Q intersects the line M at a point, say D. Look at the lines P and L. If I measures the angle at the point A, then it measures 60 degrees. But as I rotate this line, then it will make different angles at every rotation, and there will be a phase at which it will make an angle of 90 degrees. What kind of angle does it represent here? It represents a right angle. Are these still intersecting each other? They are still intersecting each other. So as they intersect each other and make an angle of 90 degrees, then we say that lines P is perpendicular to L or L is perpendicular to P. So it can be concluded that if two lines intersect each other at a right angle, then the lines are perpendicular to each other. Does the line P intersecting both the lines L and M? Yes. Here P is intersecting both the lines L and M at the points A and C respectively. What does the line P represent here? If a line that intersects two or more lines at distinct points is called a transversal. Thus, the line P represents a transversal line. Now, if the line P intersects two non-parallel lines X and Y at two distinct points R and S, then would it be correct to say that the line P still represents a transversal line? Yes. As the line P intersects the line X and Y at two distinct points R and S, then it's not important that whether the lines are parallel or non-parallel. Thus, we say that a line that intersects two or more lines, whether the lines are parallel or not, at distinct points is called a transversal. Have you noticed the angles made by the transversal line P in the given figure? How many angles have been made? 4 angles have been made by the transversal line at point R, and the another 4 angles are formed at the point S. What angles are formed when a transversal intersects a pair of straight line? Let's name them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now can you shade the region which lies in between the two straight lines X and Y? Yes, this is the required shaded region. which lies in between the two straight lines x and y. Therefore, this shaded region is called the interior part of the two straight lines. Then can we say the part of the plane which does not lie in between the straight lines is called the exterior part of the straight lines? Yes. Thus, we can say that as the angles 3, 4, 5 and 6 lie in the interior part of the straight lines, and these angles are called interior angles, and the angles 1, 2, 7 and 8 lies in the exterior part of the same plane, and these are called exterior angles. As you see the pair of angles 4 and 5 and the pair of angles 3 and 6 lie in the interior part of the straight line, as well as on the same side of the transversal line, these are called the pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Do you know the meaning of corresponding? As the word corresponding means similar in position, and if you had noticed the position of angles, then can you tell the names of corresponding angles made by the transversal line P? If you observe, both the angles 2 and 6 lie on the same side and at the same position of the same transversal line. Thus we can say that the pair of angles 2 and 6 is corresponding angles. We can also say that in the pair of corresponding angles, one of the angles must lies in the interior part and the other in the exterior part of the two straight lines which are intersected by the transversal line. There are many more pairs present other than this which satisfy the same condition of corresponding angles, and these are angles 1 and 5, 3 and 7, and lastly 4 and 8. Look at another pair of angles, that is 3 and 5. These are called alternative interior angles as they lie on the opposite side of the transversal line, as well as the pair of angles lie in the interior part of the two straight lines x and y. Can you suggest another pair of alternative interior angles? Another pair of alternative interior angles is 4 and 6. If you notice the other pair of angles like, as angles 1 and 7 are also on the opposite side of a transversal line, can we say that this pair also represents a pair of alternative angles? Yes, we can say, but as this pair lies in the exterior part of the lines x and y, therefore the pair of angles 1 and 7 is called an alternative exterior angles. Can you name another pair having the same feature? The pair of angles 2 and 8 also represents a pair of alternative exterior angles.
Now, let us have a quick recap.
Lines lying on the same plane are called parallel lines, and it is denoted by two vertical bars. Here L is parallel to M. It is written as L parallel M and read as L parallel to M. Two lines are said to be intersecting lines if they meet at a point. Let's take two lines L and M, and both intersect each other at a point O. If two lines intersect each other at right angle, then the lines will be perpendicular to each other. A line which passes through two or more straight lines and cuts these straight lines at distinct points is called a transversal line. Let's take two straight lines x and y, which is intersected by a transversal line P at two distinct points R and S. Angles made by transversal line are as follows: A, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6 are called interior angles. B, angle 1, angle 2, angle 7, and angle 8 are called exterior angles. C, angles 1 and 5, angles 3 and 7, angles 2 and 6, and angles 4 and angle 8 are pairs of corresponding angles. D. Angle 3 and angle 5 and angle 4 and angle 6 are called a pair of alternate interior angles. E. Angle 1 and angle 7 and angle 2 and angle 8 are called a pair of alternate exterior angles. F. Angle 3 and angle 6 and angle 4 and angle 5 are called a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal line.
So from today's video, what did you understand? The main thing you have learnt is about transversal. So what is a transversal? A line that intersects two or more lines at distinct points is called a transversal, right? Now what are the angles formed in the transversal? When one line, that is the line L, intersects line P at this point O, then there are totally of 1, 2, 3, 4 angles formed. When we have other line which intersects at point M, then we have another four angles formed there, right? Now the angles which are in this area, right? This is the interior area, these are the exterior areas, right? So the interior area angles will be angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 and angle 6. The exterior angles will be angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8. Okay. And then pair of corresponding angles. Like corresponding means leaving one. That will be one will be from the exterior and one from interior on the same side of the transversal. Pair of corresponding angles, that is angle 1 and angle 5. So here this side what else? Angle 3 and angle 7. On the other side angle 2 and angle 6 and angle 4 and angle 8. Right? Now pair of alternative interior angles. Alternative interior. So interior means only it will consider these four. Alternative means on the other side. So if angle 3, then angle 6. If angle 4, then angle 5. The first one was corresponding. Corresponding was on the same side of the transversal, but one will be exterior and one will be interior. On the other hand, when it is alternative interior angles, alternative, cross, right? Now pair of alternative exterior angles will be angle 1 and angle 8 on the other side of the transversal, cross, angle 2 and angle 7, right? Now pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal means angle 3 and angle 5, angle 4 and angle 6. So students, we are done for today. So your homework will be to do the second question of exercise 5.2 by yourself. We'll do the properties of transversal lines and complete the exercise 5.2 in the next class. Thank you.